Welcome everyone to today's session on the ServiceNow service portal. It is December the 4th, 11 o'clock. My name is Daniel Boyette. I'm at the North Carolina Community College System Office. So here's the agenda for today's training. We'll talk about what ServiceNow is, the process change from going from CIS help desk to the service portal. We'll cover the steps involved with self-registration. After you have a registered account, the first thing you do when you log in is you'll have access to knowledge bases. So we'll go through the search before you submit techniques. If you need to submit a new incident, we'll cover the required information for that. And we'll talk about the notifications that come along with that incident. There's a couple of different ways that you can update your own incident, so we'll talk about those. Finally, when your incident has been resolved, you'll receive a resolution email, and when it's been closed, you'll receive a closure email. And the last bit of the presentation will be password reset. So what is ServiceNow? ServiceNow is an information technology service management solution, ITSM for short. It's really just software that manages requests for IT help, requests for IT changes, report an outage. So that's what it was built for. ServiceNow is replacing Serena Business Manager, which is what we have used for the past 10 to 15 years to handle those types of requests that I just described. With this change in software, we're also doing a little bit of a lingo change. So Serena Business Manager referred to our IT requests as help desk tickets, or HDTs. Within ServiceNow, they're referred to as incidents, or INCs. So the process change. Currently, when you submit a request for help to the system office, you go to your email, you type in CIS helpdesk at ncommunitycolleges.edu. You'll populate it with, you'll populate it with a subject line, which will be summary of your problem. Then in the body of your email, you'll give all the details, what screen you went to, what report you're running, what error message you received. If you have any screenshots, you would then attach that to the email, and then you click send. Well, what you don't see is the process on our end, which is a member of the service desk team at the system office. They are monitoring the CIS help desk inbox. They are opening up your email. They're also opening up Serena, and they're copying and pasting all of the information that you provided into a Serena form. They're also downloading any attachments that you included, saving them locally, uploading them to the Serena help desk ticket, and then clicking save. You then get an HDT number, which they then have to log into their email account and send you an email with your ticket number. So we're going away from that model and going into filling out a web form on the service portal. So you're going to provide that same information that you did via email, those same attachments. You're just going to be filling out a web form instead of an email. You'll have a couple of additional fields that you'll have to fill out, which will kind of help us point your request into the right folks at the system office in order to get hopefully a resolution to you faster. So that's the process change we're going through. No more email, and we're doing web form submission. So in order to use the service portal, you need to be a registered user. So you would go to this URL provided here on the screen. And once you get to the service portal login, you would click on self-registration, which is over on the right. I'm going to click on that. And when you do that, this form will appear. And it's just asking you for some contact information about yourself. So first name, last name, email, what college you're at. So you can start typing in this field. And so if I'm at Wilson Community College, I would type in Wilson and then click the magnifying glass, and it should filter out all of the colleges and only display Wilson. Another way to populate this field would be to just leave this blank, click on the magnifying glass, and then select Wilson from the window that appears. Next field down is just filling out your business phone number, and then department. Don't type anything here. You're not going to be able to guess what we came up with. Click on the magnifying glass, and this window will appear. The departments names are so varied at all the colleges. We came up with some really generic department names, which are actually aligned with the colleague applications. So that's how we came up with these department names. Just pick the one that best fits the position that you're currently in at your college. Student services, that would include Con Ed and curriculum. So select a department. Once you do that, you'll click submit, and we will have received your user registration. It will not be approved right away. We are going to approve accounts this evening, as today is the last day that we're entering tickets into Serena. Starting tomorrow, we'll be turning that ability off and then only using the service portal for submission. So once your account has been approved, you will receive an email similar to what you see here. Your account request has been processed. Here's the URL that you'll go to. Your user ID is actually your email that you use in registration. And then your password is auto-generated. So the next step would be to go to this URL. It'll take you to a new browser tab or browser window. You'll need to fill in that auto-generated current password and then whatever you want your new password to be. Your new password needs to be 8 characters with at least 1 uppercase and 1 lowercase letter, and also 1 number, so no special characters required. So, is there a limit to the length? Hadn't had that one yet. I don't know the answer. I just know what the minimum is. If you're like me, Nick, I struggle just to get to the 8. So if you want to test that, I'd be glad to know if you come up with a. Often go with 20. That is impressive. Shoot me an email once you figure out if there's a limitation there, and I'll do a little bit digging on my end too as well. All right, so we've got our new password created. We click submit, and you're off and running. You are in the service portal, and this is a screenshot of what the main page looks like. Not much going on this page. We actually removed a lot of the functionality that came out of the box because we felt like it was a little too much. So as we continue to use this product, there will be additional things that we would add to this page. We just wanted to keep it as simple as possible during this initial rollout. So on this main screen, you've got the How Can We Help box up at the top. And this is how you can access or search through knowledge-based articles. So just do a keyword search in this box. And when you do so, knowledge articles will appear. So think of it kind of like Google. If you need to look up something, you'll go to Google, you'll type in a keyword, and then websites will appear. Same concept. Type in a keyword, knowledge articles will appear. These will just be related to college things or colleague things, self-service things. So that's what your first step should be. When you go to the service portal, search before you submit. The knowledge bases are going to be kind of bare at the beginning, just because this is such a new software. We still need to populate it with content. So it'll continue to grow over time as far as the knowledge base articles go. But your first step should be the keyword search. I've typed in the word testing on this screenshot, and I've got an article down here highlighted, so I'll click on that. And this will take you to the knowledge base article. You got the title up here at the top, who the article was written by, how many times it's been viewed, how long ago it was written, and you also have the star rating. So that's just the information you'll see at the top. Right below that, you'll see the text including in the knowledge base article. You might see screenshots. So you might see a screenshot of Kali. You might see a screenshot of self-service. You could have hyperlinks in here, attachments. So we can add a lot of different types of content to these knowledge articles. Read the article, see if it fits or answers your problem or resolves your issue. Let us know. Click helpful, yes. No, not helpful. Rate this article, give it a star rating. Best article ever, give it a 5. Maybe it solved half your problem, give it a 3. Not helpful at all, give it a 1. We will review these, and based off of the ratings that the articles received, if you've got 15 people saying not helpful, we'll probably remove that article so that it doesn't show up in your search anymore because it's been viewed as not helpful. Now, as these things are viewed and are rated, there's some other things that will start to show up on the knowledge base pages. So like the top viewed or highest rated articles. We don't have screenshots of that right now just because it's so new, but it will grow over time. So that's one way for you to be able to provide feedback on the articles that are out there. So you've done your keyword search, maybe you've read a couple of articles, you couldn't find an answer to your problem. Your next step would be to click on the Get Help button, which is right below the How Can We Help screen or box. When you click on the Get Help, this is the top part of the Request Help form. So welcome to the NCCCS service portal. I've got some best practices in here for when you're submitting an incident. This is kind of taking the highlights that Suzanne Baker, our service desk manager, would provide. 2 times a year, she'd send out an email to the CC list, just reminding people of the things that they should include when they submit help desk tickets. So we took the highlights of that text and we put it here so that you'll always have it when you're submitting a new incident. So things to include: what application you're using or system, what version it is. That might be helpful. Provide a summary of what your issue is, additional details. So what kind of steps you took that led you to your problem. This will really help us in troubleshooting and hopefully get to your resolution faster. Include error messages that you might have received. Take a screenshot of it, include it as an attachment. If you're using specific mnemonics, list those in the description or additional details. So more information is better. So last thing is password reset. If we're resetting a password for you, provide the application or system that you're using along with your user ID. So that's the top part of the form. The bottom part of the form is where you're going to provide the information about your incident or your request. So the first field listed is category, and this is kind of a broader classification for your request. So if I am in human resources, I would select human resources from category. Then the next field down is subcategory. This will only show you human resources related options. So those two things work hand in hand. If I'm in student services and I'm having a problem with registration, I would click student for category and registration for subcategory. So these two things are related to each other. So I've got my fields filled out. The next field down is urgency. So this is how urgent the request is on your end. You have three options: high, medium, and low. High would be you can't complete a critical business function, students can't register, can't transmit financial aid, can't run payroll, colleague is down, self-service is down. So those are the types of high urgency requests or scenarios that would be a high urgency. Medium would be maybe only a subset of users are affected, or it's a non-critical business service that you can't complete. You can continue to do other things. You need to report this issue, but it's not mission critical at the time. So we still want to know that. So that would be a urgency of a medium. Finally, low, it just pertains to one single user. It's not mission critical. These will be sort of like more like a how-to. So how do I do this? How do I set this up? Those would be more of your lower urgency scenarios. Next field down is the short description. This is the same stuff you would include in the subject line of your email when you would send it to the CIS help desk. It's going to be a summary of what your problem is. Additional details is where you're going to include all of the steps that you took that led you to your problem or led you to fill out this form. So we want to know the mnemonics. We want to know whatever field is involved. Error messages, type it in here or take a screenshot of it, save it locally, add it as an attachment, which you would do by clicking on the paperclip at the bottom of the form. So click on the paperclip, go find that file you need to attach, double click on it, click OK, and you have added that to your incident. If you are submitting on behalf of a coworker, please let us know that in the additional details. This is a new system. It requires users to register. So if you have a coworker that hasn't registered but they need to get something in, that's okay. Just let us know who the coworker is, their contact information, so that we know who we should be contacting when we're starting to work on the incident that was reported. So I filled out all my required fields. I've added any necessary attachments, and I'm ready to click the submit button, which is located on the upper right side of the form. So I'll click submit, and when you do that, your form will then turn into this display. And I got a couple of boxes highlighted that I want to point out what's going on. So after you click submit, you're automatically given a number. So here's your incident number. When you click submit, your incident is in the state of new. So you just click new, hadn't been worked on yet. The next field down is priority. This is actually a calculated field. So when you are creating your incident, you get to determine what the urgency is on your end. Well, when your incident is being reviewed by system office staff, we are reading the details that you provided and we're assessing the impact. So it's a lot of the same scenarios that I just described with urgency. So impact of colleague is down, that's going to be a 1. That's the highest one. Can't do payroll, can't transmit financial aid. It's just a lot of the same scenarios that you would classify your urgency as. We're also doing that same impact. Maybe you didn't pick a high enough urgency, so we would put a higher impact to bump your priority up. So that's what that priority field is. It's urgency, which is what you provide, impact, which is what we provide, and that calculates what the priority is that you see here on the screen. Next field down in that box is created. This is just when you created the incident. So you'll see things like just now, 2 minutes ago, 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago. One other thing that you'll see in that top box here is updated. So your created timestamp will not change, but you'll have updated right below here. And that'll also give you a reference of when it was last updated. Next box down is all the information that you provided when you were filling out your incident. So the category, subcategory, urgency, details that you provided, that's all listed next. And finally, we've got attachments located at the bottom of the screen. These are attachments that you included. They could also be attachments that system office staff have included. So maybe they have a quick troubleshooting guide or a job aid that hadn't been published yet. So you'll see those attachments down here at the bottom as well. Finally, the last part on this page is the first way that you can update your own incident. So if you realize that you left out a key piece of information up here, you can type in that information, either hit enter or click send. But that is one way of updating your incident. So that's what happens when you click submit. Also, when you click submit, you will get an auto-generated email. We're also receiving an email on our end saying a new incident has been submitted and is assigned to your team. So we're getting that. You're getting the email that you see here on your screen. Your incident has been opened. Here's some of the details that you provided, so your short description and additional details. You can reply to this email. So if you prefer to just work through email, that's fine. You hit reply, type in your message, include an attachment. That will update your incident. If you prefer to go to the service portal just because you like that interface better, click on the Take Me to the Incident link, and that should open up a browser window or a browser tab and take you straight to your incident where you can provide your update that way. So it's completely up to you guys, whatever you're most comfortable with. If you prefer to work through email, do that. If you prefer to go to the service portal, click on the link provided and go that route. So I submitted my incident on Friday, had a nice long weekend. I want to check on it on Monday. I would go to the service portal, and in the upper right-hand corner, I'll see the word request. And then I'll also see a bubble to the right with a number. This is the number of incidents that you currently have open. So click on that word, and when you do that, this window will appear. Select the incident you're interested in seeing the update for. So that's how you can go back and access your open incidents. So you've reported your incident. You've worked with system office staff to get it resolved. System office staff have to click the resolve button. We also have to provide information about how it was resolved. And once we click save, you will receive this email notification. Your incident has been resolved. Here's the short description, additional details, resolved, and here's the part I want you to key in on. The incident will automatically close in 5 calendar days. So, read the details here. Yeah, they fixed my problem. I'm good to go. Thank you so much. Reply. You don't have to reply if you don't want to. But if you read these notes and say, hey, my problem still exists, please let us know. Reply to the email. Click on the link to go to the service portal. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Let us know it hadn't been resolved. We will open your ticket back up and continue to troubleshoot. So please pay attention to this resolution notification, because 5 days from now, if you haven't replied with a thank you or, yep, I'm good to go, you will receive this closure notification. So your incident has been closed. It'll provide you with those same details that came with the resolution email. Once you get to this point, we will not open your incident back up. You will need to create a new incident to pick up where we left off. So that's the final piece of notifications or emails associated with an incident. Are there any questions at this time? Thanks, Donald. See, Nick is typing something. Not right now. Out of the box, you'll only have access to your open incidents. So whether they're in a new state, in progress, or resolved, once they go to the closure state, they're going to fall off of that request list. Now, we do have that on our list of things to look at. We've had a lot of people say, it'd be nice to look at, if I can go back and look at my closed one as well. We've talked to other ServiceNow clients, and they have turned that on for end users. So we have that on our list of things to consider, things to do. So not right now, but maybe in the future. So question from David, this is but 5 days after it has been answered. If we feel pretty confident that if you just go to a mnemonic and fill out this form, and that should resolve the problem, we might go ahead and put it in the resolve state. But if there's a back and forth with, hey, try this, hey, try that, we're not going to move it to the resolve state until we feel comfortable with your incident being resolved. And once we do that, then that's when the 5 days start. You're welcome. All right, let's see this bad boy in action. Minimize that. So I am now on the service portal login screen. I'm not a user yet, so the first thing I need to do is self-registration. So I'll click on self-registration to the right. That will fill out this form. And first name, last name, Herman Munster. I haven't used that one yet. College, this is where you have a couple of different ways for filling out this field. If I'm at Rockingham, I can just stop right there, click the magnifying glass, and select Rockingham from the window that appears. If I don't want to do that and I just want to go through and select Rockingham, click on the magnifying glass, navigate through the list, and there's Rockingham right there. So I'll click that. Phone number, this is your work phone. Department, I'm not going to try to type in this box. I'm just going to go straight to the magnifying glass and select the department that best fits what my current position is. So I'll pick IT, and there you go. You have filled it out. No more red stars. Click submit. We will receive your request. Accounts will be activated this evening, just in case you need to use them for tomorrow. So that is the user registration process. Once you get your email saying your account has been approved, you'll go in and you'll change your password to something you'll be more familiar with. And after you do that, you'll be ready to go. So I'm going to log in. And here is the main page. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search through the knowledge articles. Just typed in RE, and here's a knowledge article that I created. It's just our test account, so there's not much content in there. Let's see, let's try, I'll go back to my steady test scenario. I just typed in the word test. Click on an article, read all about it. This one happens to have an attachment. So that keyword search that you're doing, it is actually looking through the content of attachments as well, not just the text associated with the knowledge base articles, but the attachment content as well. So do a couple of keyword searches, read through the knowledge articles. Again, it's going to be kind of bare at the beginning, and it will grow over time. So that's your first step. Next step will be to click on the Get Help. Here's the service portal, best practices. Please review this stuff. It really helps us into troubleshooting what your issue is. So I'm in student services. I could type in STU or ST, click on student and get to it that way. So category will only display things that are related to the student application in colleague. So academic records, select that. If you don't want to do the hunt and peck game here, seeing what values are available, we do have a category and subcategory guide. It's actually a knowledge article, so click on that. It'll take you to the knowledge article. It'll give you the category, subcategory name, and then examples of types of requests that fit into this subcategory. So that's a guide that you guys will have access to if you need a little bit of help to see what your options are. So I am going to do the student option again, applications, and let's see, urgency is going to be a medium. I need to get an issue fixed, but it doesn't have to be fixed right away. So let's see, a problem receiving applications. The additional details, this is where you're going to put your steps, your error messages, the fields you clicked on, mnemonics. Go to the app screen. Click on the field. Error message be attached. So as much details as you can provide. TMI does not apply here, so please let us know. It'll help us in troubleshooting. That attached error message, you can include it by clicking on the paperclip, navigate to the file where you saved the error message, and then add it as an attachment. Once you have all your little red stars, not red anymore, they're now grayed out, which means that you've completed all the required fields. It's now time to click submit. And when you do that, you are being sent an email to your email account. But you'll also get that same information here if you were to stay on this form You'll see that the incident number is provided, the state. Whoa, did y'all see that? Suzanne Baker is now looking at my incident. How about that? So that's, that's some of the interactions that you can see. The state is new, but she just changed it. So she must say, all right, I'm going to take this incident. You can see that the agent working the incident is her. So you can see who from the system office is working your ticket. If it's just assigned to a group, you won't see anybody here. But once a person has taken ownership of your incident, that's where you can see that person's name. Created, so 1 minute ago, she must have updated it, which she did by taking ownership of it. So the updated field appears. We've got all the information that I provided when I click submit. Here's your attachments down here at the bottom. I'm going to scroll back up, and she is already working on my incident. Man. Is this happening from applications for a specific term? Oh, this is for all terms. Hit enter or click send. So you'll see this screen will grow over time as we're trying different troubleshooting things. This is the sorts of interactions that you'll see. This will be your stuff from the system office. Communications will be over here. Now this additional comment that Suzanne added, you'll also get an email with that comment. So again, if you prefer to go work through email, do that. You'll get a copy of this additional comment in an email. Reply to it, and it will also update your incident. Looking at the chat, Nick, is the text in the body of the incident plain text, no HTML or font selection? No, I don't believe the short description, additional details, you can have HTML associated with it. I don't think. I know there's the link that's provided in the email, but I don't think you can do any formatting when you're submitting your incident. You're welcome. Question from Donald. Might have missed this. How do users add us to their ticket in the system? That would need to be a request from the person submitting. So maybe that's a conversation you have with your end users. Say the term that we'll key in on is watch list. So there is the ability to, if Laura, if you submit a request and you wanted to add somebody as a watcher or something like that, somebody else at your college needs to be aware of the additional comments and the questions that are coming through. Let us know, and we will add that person to the watch list. They will receive the same communications that you are receiving, so that everybody is aware. We just need to know to do that, just because not all incidents are created equal. You probably don't want to add people to the watch list for a password reset, but if you have a question about maybe a colleague patch that was just released, we might want to add the system administrator for your college to the watch list because maybe the patch hadn't been installed yet, or maybe it's in test and not production. So that sort of thing. There is some IT overlap. Follow up from Donald. I think that you can reply to the email and it'll update it. We'll need to test that. Suzanne, if you have tested that, do you know?
Did so much testing, I can't remember.
Same here.
The thought is that it would. And again, like I put in the chat box, we would like for your end user, if they need someone added to the watch list to make that request. I know some colleges like for everything to come through IT first, but we can't keep up with who does that and who doesn't. So we're asking that you make that request. What we will do automatically is if we're working with an end user and we have a request that we know only IT can handle, like maybe we need to know if a specific patch is installed, or we need you to make a change on a form that a typical end user wouldn't have access to, um, we may automatically add you to that watch list, to get you in the loop. Does that make sense?
Great. Good questions. Last thing I haven't demonstrated yet was how to access your request that you've already submitted. So if a couple of days have gone by, you can go into the service portal and then click on requests in the upper right hand corner, and it'll list all of the requests that you have, and then select the one that you would like to see the update on. So that was the last piece of demonstration. Is there anything you want to see again or any additional comments before we wrap up with password reset information? I see Nick is typing something. We'll give him a chance to finish that up. I hope Nick doesn't have his elbow on his keyboard. This is going to be a good one. Oh, there we go. Fixed width font to post. Okay, that'll work. Another technique would be to put it in a notepad, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can adjust that either. But feedback received. All right, let's flip back over to the PowerPoint and finish on up. So password reset, you've got your account, you've logged in, it's been a month later, you forgot your password. So go to the same login screen. Right below the login button, you'll see trouble signing in. Let's click on that. It'll take you to a form where you'll have to fill out a couple of pieces of information. Username, this is your email address. So enter your email address, click next. Very next screen, you'll have to enter your email address in again. Click next. Once you do that, you'll receive this message. Click done. And then flip over to your email. You will receive an email similar to what you see here. Click on the hyperlink in the email to reset your password. If you've already gone this far, please go ahead and do it because this link will expire in 12 hours. So just go ahead and reset it. And once you click on that link, it'll take you to a screen where you have to provide a new password. Same criteria, 8 characters, 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase letter, and at least 1 number. And once you've done that, click reset password and you should be good to go. Are there any questions that haven't been asked yet? You're welcome. Hope you guys found this beneficial. We're really excited about this change in product. Hopefully you guys are too. This is just our initial step at it, so there'll be more things to come. We just want to get this first bit of work under our belt, get comfortable with it, and we'll go from there. All right, if there are no other questions, hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, everybody.